The presentation is on a sensitization of agricultural stakeholders on the need and benefit of data for equal development, which was sponsored by Open Knowledge Foundation to mark this year Open Data Day. And this is the small experience we had from Nigeria. The sponsoring agent then was Open Knowledge Foundation in the UK, and then our institute, they supported the idea. Help me to navigate the next slide. Okay, then the principles for supporting open data. One is that open data is freely accessible and then can be used by everyone. Also, in open data, you can be modified and then shared for many purposes. Another principle is that what, like open data, which is an annual event, it's celebrated all over the world. This year, it was on 7th of March, and Open Knowledge Foundation gave grant to almost more than 60 people from different countries in different areas. The 4 pillars for this year Open Data Day was on environmental data, tracking public money flows, open mapping, and data for equal development. My aspect of the grant was on the last one, data for equal development. Also, the features of openness in data is one, data must be available. If data is not available, then it's not open. Also, data should be people should have access to the data. Then data should also be reused. It's not only in different forms and by different people. And the distribution to different stakeholders, depending on the need. And then universal participation in the data usage. Then open data are the building blocks for one, data revolution in agriculture. It is because of data, so many decisions and policies are coming up in agriculture. Both one is having database for farmers and the rest of them. Then open knowledge is helping to build open knowledge because people have access to various informations and from different medium. So their knowledge, people are acquiring new knowledge of doing things. Then science is built on data. Yes, we are in science, but the way data is being projected now is making us to have a new thinking and a new ideology about data. Because most often we use data just for profiling. No, data is the basis to form models for business, decision takings, and so many other things. Also, the open data block is based on freedom of information. This one aligns with the Nigerian policy on freedom of information, where information is made free for people by agencies of government so that people can use it to form decisions. Next slide. Okay, then during the Open Data Day, the agri value chain stakeholders that was mobilized for the Open Data Days, they are many. From the left or right, we have people in research. Within this place, we have about 3 or 4 institutions who are in research. We have National Institute for Freshwater Fisheries. We have Federal College of Freshwater Fisheries Technologies. Also, we have Wildlife College. So all these places, see research scientists that are working in different areas. Also, advisory service providers were mobilized. Financial service providers, we have banks, we have microfinance, we have local financial providers. They all came. And then we have AROC. AROC is Agricultural Outreach Research Centers, which we domicile in schools that we use to disseminate technologies from our institute. Then we have people, CWES, on industrial training. That is students' industrial work experience. In our institute, every year, we receive almost 300 to 400 students from different universities, colleges, who come here for industrial training. So they were part of the people that were sensitized. Also, during the period, alumni group of farm management online course. We were also mobilized through our discussion group. People responded from Zambia, South Africa, Mozambique, Nigeria, and different parts. Then other stakeholder people in fishery and aquaculture, crop farmers, livestock. The adopted villages are farmers who are in communities that we use as where we display and demonstrate technologies. Then input dealers and transporters in the value chain. So this will involve all the actors in the value chain, from production, process to transportation. Then the next is a benefit of data at farmers level. There are many benefits of data at farmers level. One is farmers identification. Second one is farm data. Getting the data on the farm, what they produce, the land, the site, the GPS coordinate of the farm. Then product and services design. With data, you can do all this, helping farmers to know the product, what they produce, and the services. And then direct support to farmers. Yes, with data, you can give direct support to farmers. For instance, in Nigeria, during the ATA project, this was used to farmers to receive allocation for fertilizer in their phone, or farmer or financial support from the bank. Also, monitoring and update with data. You monitor what is happening. Then data sharing with farmers will benefit from data sharing with the information that is being analyzed and synthesized for decision making. Then research and evaluation. With data, we are able to develop a research project that can be done, among others. Then the benefit of data to farmers group, one, planning and strategy, because the emphasis now in Nigeria is moving from individualistic farmer to farmers group strategy, which is being used by government agencies. For instance, under the ANCO brothers, they are recommending farmers forming groups of small numbers that can be used. Then easier membership management. If there's data, members can easily be managed. Easier communication and a better understanding of the needs and demands of their members. When farmers in a group and they have a database, there are many ways you can use it to assess and analyze and find the common issues. For instance, in this place, the fish farmers had an issue of selling their fish, but the table side producers. But as an individual, they could not do that. But when they came together as a group, they were able to come together and resolve the issue, because the issue was that fish buyers don't sell, don't give, don't pay. So when they come together, they were able to reach out to some decision that helped them to overcome that challenge. And it was moving. The outcome is that their business started to move. Then greater opportunity to identify and put in place new services. Yes, with that, farmers coming together, they can be able to take some decisions and better ways of running their business. Then advocacy. If they have a common problem, then they can form an advocacy group to either local government or institutions on what they need. Then new sources of revenue for them from the data. People who want to use the data for various purposes. Then to an organization, benefits of that are many. One, resource allocation. With good data, an organization will now restructure how they allocate their resources. For instance, in research institutions, they will decide how to allocate their capital. Is it capital for physical infrastructure or capital for research purpose? The monitoring of projects that are being carried out in different geographical zones in the country, and it serves as instrument basically for strategic business initiative and business model. This is very, very critical in institutions in Nigeria, because most often research is just done for research and then publication. We don't use the outcome of research to form a business model and then new business initiatives. So it's very, very strategic in Nigeria that people in positions will key into this. The instrument to fight corruption, as we know, then again in open knowledge from big data and small data, then establish partnership and then attract funds for investment and the rest of them. Opportunities for fishery database development at NIFER. NIFER is National Institute for Freshwater Fisheries Research, where I work. Is very, very, because we are the only freshwater research institute and have a national mandate. So having a fishery database is very, very important. Most of the information that we have, hardly can we trace them now. So database for under artisanal fisheries, we need a database for inland freshwater bodies. Yes, there are so many inland water bodies. Far back about 30 years ago, the documentation on inland water bodies is obsolete because it was only documented in print. But now we need a new approach using website and the rest of them to document freshwater bodies that can be traced at any time using their coordinate and the rest. Then another point is what? Freshwater fisheries. There are so many freshwater fisheries that we don't have the database. Then feature foods, we need to also know the feature foods, the features, fish processors, fish marketers, and the rest who engage in fishing activities. Then fishing gears that are being used, we have to know the types of fishing gears, the ones that are detrimental to overfishing and causing a problem in certain communities can be identified. Then we know the fishing communities, so near these water bodies, that these water bodies provides livelihood for. Then on aquaculture database, aquaculture, Nigeria, as we know, in Sub-Saharan Africa, we are the #1. So aquaculture is booming, but we don't have a very good database for aquaculture. So we need a database that we have to map out aquaculture clusters. Then identify the hatchery operators. Then the broodstock bank, people that are involved in broodstock. Then table size farmers, then feed producers, input providers, and processors. So you see that with the new issue on data, we have a lot in our institute that we can benefit, but this is missing in our institute. And I know in also many institutions in Nigeria, because as of now in Nigeria, we have one database in Anambra State, and then another one, which the federal government started during the ATA project, but that one was abandoned. So we need a sound database in fisheries and other related areas in agriculture. Then some models for data-driven services that have been proposed by CTA. You can see under this model, we have different ways that can be used: information profile of farmers, agroclimate observations, soil, pest and disease, farm implements. Knowing all these things with a good data, with this outline, it is which CTA has proposed. If we can have it, it's going to solve a whole lot of problems, which is for services to members. We have production issues, we have trade and market, we have finance, we have registration of farmers with their profile identity, their profile, their farmers demography, and the rest of them. So this is one of the models that maybe that can be adopted into agriculture when we are designing a database. Then this is data for agriculture being proposed by FAO and CTA. Under this, you see that one is open data that is here, which can be open globally using website and the rest of them. Then local content. Then you have the customers, the audience, information that they are going to use. Then ways of capturing data. We have different apparatus, different tools that can be used. People facilitated, then using phone to capture data, using SMS, USSD, then mobile phone, passive voice capture, GPS, mobile phone applications, and then remote sensing or to capture data. All these are now available, and they are supposed to do what? To improve the quality of data with precision, unlike the just using a questionnaire and the rest of them. Farmer profiling through farmer digital profile graphic. This is another example of from CTA. If you have a data, it has input, forecast, extension work, members, service policy, then certification of product, traceability of food produces, credit, insurance, and subsidies. With modern data, all these things are possible, and that gives the farmer a very big advantage to produce better, market better, and then have access to finance, and then organizations that provide the services. Then this is the example of Zenvus SMART technology on soil fertility. Zenvus is a technology that are providing data information using their technology. Here you can see the soil. They are using this one to get information from the soil. And they have to install it in the farm. Zenvus is a technology here. So when they install it, this goes direct to their website, and then they will analyze it and send the information. I was able to get because I was discussing with Zenvus on possibility of having this test run in a pilot scheme. So Zenvus, they're one of those, they are working with some organizations in Nigeria on data. Now, data for equal development. As we all know, development is about progress, prosperity, opportunities, equality. But development cannot happen if there's no good data. And surgery should be systematic. It has to be all encompassing. Then it has to be holistic. You have to do system analysis, then inclusive of all the actors, then establish a good database for update and analysis. Then it has to be sustainable. It has to sustain itself, irrespective at any time. Then equal development, as we know, is removing the barriers in the group that has not to have access to opportunities. And it means that when there's equal development, it's inclusive and cohesive. Everybody is carried along. Men, women, youth, everybody is carried along. And then it is against denial and inequality. In development, data helps us to expose the challenges. It is from data, when you analyze the data, you find out the challenges in the development. And then based on that, it encourages equality and equity. Equity leads to equality. Equity is where in a development, if you have more and you don't need it in excess, then there can be a way it will be restructured in such a way that what you don't need is given to somebody who needs it. So we need data to balance, to bring equity, which leads to equality in the system. Particularly, we are talking of the youth who are being shortchanged and the women. So with data, you know which of them that needs more attention in any project or any intervention. Then for you to have a good development based on data, there should be stakeholders mapping. And under the stakeholder mapping, have different actors. One on your left, here you will see the power actors, the legitimacy. These are number one, dominant stakeholders, discrete stakeholders, the indefinite stakeholders, dangerous stakeholders, demanding stakeholders, dependent stakeholders, and then non-stakeholders. By the time you find out all this during stakeholders mapping, that will help you to structure your development plan. and the project that you are going to do, and then know where emphasis should be. At the top, we have the power, we have legitimacy, we have the urgency. Here is the high power, here is the low power. Then, which means at the high power, we should keep satisfied, and then monitor closely what is happening at those places. In agriculture, in fisheries, we need to do this because all the farmers are not equal. Particularly farmers in the rural places, they are not the same with those in urban who have information. Those that are illiterate, they are not the same as those who have gone to school. One example of this was that about 5 years ago in Niger State, I was working, collecting data. Some farmers insisted that they are not going to work with political farmers. Why? Because the political farmers always seize opportunities that come and they deny them who don't have such opportunity. So with stakeholder mapping, you should be able to know the political farmers and know the real farmers and be able to do what? To reach them based on information that have been generated. Way forward. According to ECOWAS Commission, it states that current agricultural model with its dependence on cheap labor, insecure livelihood, and over-exploitation of natural resources, it has become unviable. So we cannot continue. Okay. This is the last slide. The last slide, I'm finished. So we need to rise up to take up the opportunity in Africa's $1 trillion agricultural economy by one, baking the cake rather than sharing the cake. No thinking, no ideas and innovations. Our data should speak for us what we are doing. Then we need women capacity development on data literacy, setting up institution database for data generation. Then we need data visibility and credibility through website, strong internet and communication strategy. Then we need to invest on data infrastructure and equipment. For instance, many institutions don't have equipment, drones, GPS, smartphones to collect data and the rest of them. Then new research approach, which needs the framework and the new business model. Then farmers' participation in data generation. Presently I'm working on a pilot project with a partner, because after that, farmers were interested, they develop interest. So we want to see how we can do a pilot scheme with some farmers group around here. Then to seek partnership and linkage with national and global organizations. Then lastly is this is the image of what transpired during the Open Data Day presentation. 135 participants attended. 56% were men and 44% were women. You can see different stakeholders at the institute level, farmers group, youth, and the rest of them. So I want to thank you that the Open Data Day actually opened up a new chapter on the issue of data in the institute and among stakeholders. Thank you.